Hey, Janice, how are you? You have the ability to unmute yourself if you like. Hey, Z, how are you again today? Good morning, I should say.
I'm doing pretty well.
Good, good, good. We're just kind of getting people in now.
Zita, when do you go back to school?
Next week.
Oh, wow. So it's real soon for you. Are you looking forward to it?
Kind of.
So it's early morning in the Philippines. What time is it? 8 o'clock in the morning there? So did you have to get up extra early for this, or do you normally sleep in late?
I had to get up early and then I sleep late and then I still feel a bit sleepy.
Okay, we're still letting people in, still getting people in. Here's Rich. And we're going to wait just another minute or two as people are getting in, okay?
Yes,
Hey
Rich.
guys.
Hi, Rich.
Hey, Rich, how are
yeah, what's
you?
up? Hey,
Good to
Debbie,
see
Fran.
you. Good to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you folks too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're
How's it
glad
going?
that you're here to talk to our young playwrights tonight.
Yeah, what exactly are we doing? They're going to ask questions or what is it?
Just go with the flow, Rich.
Okay, just curious. I just had an intense conversation. One of my friends, this woman is like 75, and she lives in my building, and she walked my dog for 10 years, and we had coffee together, and she keeps a lot of stuff to herself, but lately she's been borrowing more and more money, and always like on the first of the month when she gets her check. I'm like concerned. I told a friend of mine, I'm going to ask her. She said, no, you can't do that. I was like, why not? I said, because it's none of your business. I said, but it's like family. She said, but she's not your, we just had this whole thing. Oh my God. It's like, I'm like this now.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
How you doing, friend?
I'm doing good. Hey, listen, why don't we officially start? Okay. So it is just a few minutes after 8, and we wanted to gather here tonight because we just really want to congratulate the young playwrights for the work that they did in the Voices of Youth Festival. You give us so much hope for the future, and we were very, very impressed with the work that you did. So tonight, what we want to do is just introduce each other real quickly, but then we want to talk to each of you one by one, give the audience an opportunity to ask some questions, let us ask some questions. We wanted to let you know that between Deb Kelly and Sherry Whittington are behind the scenes staff people who are doing everything on this festival. We wanted to let you know that we had over 15 million people see your names, your faces, your playwrights in all the promotions that we have done. It doesn't necessarily mean they've seen the show, they still can, but one of the things that Power Stories does a phenomenal job on is promotions. So we have the ability to track all of the touches on our promotions, and we know factually that 15 million people saw your name, your playwright, a lot of time your face, they saw the description of your play. So we wanted to share that with you. So that's hopefully that makes you feel great. So hey, they came on that. At first I thought, you mean million, you mean thousands? No, 50 million. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Fran Powers. I'm the founder of Power Stories. This is our second festival that we are doing this year for youth. Deb Kelly is with us. Deb? and Sherry Whittington is with us. So first, Sherry, why don't you introduce the young playwrights?
Yes, thank you. First, we have, if you guys can wave when we, if you're here with us, we have Christy Golian, who's 16 from Florida, and she wrote The Schemer and the Alien. We have Julia McComsky, age 10 from New York, and she wrote Stage Delights and Frights.
She is actually in a show right now. She'll be with us shortly.
Okay, all right, good. We have The Magic Pencil, and that was a group project, and that was written by, it's the Dreamers, I hope I say this right, Teatro Crew. Feel free to help me, Corky. Okay. We had, I believe, 5 or 6 all here from Florida who worked on that project together. And we have Annie Brown, 18 from Oklahoma, who wrote Dear Pen Pal the Musical. And that was our musical contribution. And then we also have Zeta Sambilo Super Z, age 10 from the Philippines. Her play was Super Z. Last night, we also had a really wonderful talent show. We had a number of different people with us.
So why don't we give everybody a round, unmute yourself for just a second and give everybody a round of applause.
I see Julia's here now.
Yes, hi, Julia.
Hi,
Yes, Julie is here now. So Deb, why don't you introduce our 2 guests tonight? And then we will kind of get things started.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited to introduce our special guest from New York, playwrights Rich Courage, author of The Very Last Dance of Homeless Joe, and Gloria Rawson, writer of Listen, Can You Hear Me? No. Thank you guys for joining us. And they participated in the Voices of Truth Festival back in March. And I'm sure they'll have some great words of wisdom for us a little bit later.
So what we want to do tonight, our main goal tonight, you guys, is just to make the young playwrights feel really special and congratulate them for all the work that they've done. So we want to give each of you an opportunity to talk and give us an opportunity to ask any questions. So first up is Julia. Julia, can you unmute?
Hello.
Can you tell us about yourself, about your play, and what the experience was like doing this play?
Okay, well, as you know, my name is Julie McComsky. It's okay if you can't pronounce that. No one can. And I'm 10 years old, and I love the color purple. And my play is about this girl, Bridget, who gets locked in a closet by this girl named Tiffany. And when she finally gets out of the closet, she exposes Tiffany. Not for just what she did, but with some other little secrets too. But yeah, that's basically what my play was about. And to be honest, the experience was really great. I got to do the play with my best friend, Lily. She was Bridget, I was Tiffany. Some boy named Alex, I believe, was Marco. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I messed it up. Some boy named Andrew was Alex. I'm sorry. I don't know what my brain is going today. Probably somewhere not here. Okay, let's try to get this right again. Some boy named Andrew was playing Alex. Thank you, brain. But basically, yeah, that's what my play was about. Yeah. And the experience is really great because I got to do it with my best friend. We've been best friends since we were 4 years old.
And Julia, isn't she a writer also? Did I read that she was a writer also, your best friend?
She loves writing. We're actually writing a book together. Yeah, it's a fantasy book.
Fun.
Wow.
So we would love to open it up for anybody to ask Julia, the playwright, any questions. Janice has her hand up.
Well, Julia, first of all, I'd like you to come and have a talk with my brain, because you do a really good job about that. We all have those moments. I find you delightful on stage and off, and your play was intense and it was heartfelt. To me, I thought it explored the theme of loyalty a bit. What do you think about that? Do you know what I'm getting at? That's what came up, you know, like who you can trust and just the issue of trust and loyalty. What do you think?
First of all, thank you for calling me delightful. Second of all, yes, I do believe that the play does have this theme of loyalty and trust in it, because obviously when Bridget got locked in the closet, obviously she trusted Tiffany that wouldn't happen, but obviously that trust was broken. And loyalty to Tiffany dating Alex, yes, that would have been loyal, but unfortunately it wasn't. So, you know.
Well, I love hearing that you have a best friend that you can really, really count on. That's wonderful.
Thanks, Janice. Who else has a question for Julia?
I think Rich has his hand up.
Okay, Rich.
Thanks, friend. Hi, Julia.
Hello.
I didn't see your show yet, but it's been recorded though, right, friend?
Yes.
Okay, good. I will see it. I'm just amazed. You're 10 years old and talking about loyalty and trust and writing a play. I don't even have to see it yet to know that it's a major achievement for your life that you did it, period. It's probably wonderful too. And
Thank
well,
you
I
very
wanted to
much.
ask you, huh?
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. It's great. It's great. You should be very proud of yourself. I was going to ask you, what made you, two questions. Have you written other plays? And what made you write this one instead of anything else you could have written? What inspired, you know, did it just come out? Was it something you wanted to write?
Okay, to answer your first question, no, I have not written any other plays. And two, what inspired me was probably how I was just sitting in my room doing nothing, listening to my Alexa, and this idea, not you, and this idea just came to me because I was listening to a song about loyalty, and I said, let's ruin that and make it into something great. And yeah, that's what happened. That's how it went. I started writing it and it turned out to be something really great, and I'm really proud of that.
I'm proud of you too. I haven't even seen it yet, and I'm proud of you already. You've got a nice presence. You got a nice speaking voice. You're intelligent. You're obviously thoughtful because you're 10 years old. You're not thinking about hopscotch. You're thinking about writing plays. You're gonna write a play about hopscotch. Well, anyway, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rich. Who else has any questions for Julia? Gloria.
Hi, I did see your play, and watching you, just as I was thinking the same thing that Rich just said. You have a great presence. You can see that on stage, and you can see it here. So what you're doing is performing and writing. Would you like to continue doing both? Would you prefer one over the other? Because you have great stage performance, stage presence, just the way you are, just the way you are here. My acting coach, the way he taught was exactly the way you are. He always said, just start from where you are, and that's what you do. You're just, here I am, and my brain is either not here or it is here, and I don't care, everything's fine. And that's what you bring on stage. It's delightful to watch you here and to watch you on stage. And I was just thinking, I know you're 10, this is not really a fair question because it's a life question, but just at the moment, is there a balance between the writing and the performing, or one or the other?
I personally think that I'd like to do I'd like to do both more, but if I had to pick, honestly, it would be performing, because I've basically tried to set up my life for this ever since I've started acting. I've been really trying to commit to it and get to my goal to be on Broadway.
And I think you're going to be there. And
Thank
I
you
think
very
you're gonna
much.
be there. Yes, that
Then we
frame,
never back when.
not even a question.
And Julia, so when you're on Broadway, remember us. Remember us. Who has any other questions for Julia? Well, Julia, you've just been a joy to work with, and I hope that we see you more. Our next festival is Voices of Women, but then we'll be doing more festivals where you may be able to participate. So we'd love to see you again. Our next play, thanks, Julia. Our next playwright is Christina Golian, and she wrote The Schemer and the Alien. And this was the one play that was done at the theater, which just made my heart sing. So, Christiana, open up your mic and introduce yourself and tell us what the experience was like.
Hey guys, I'm Christiana or Christy, either one. And I don't know, it's just been amazing. I wrote this play back in like November, I think, or at least that's when I finished it. And yeah, I'm going to be a senior in high school, and ever since I wrote that play, I knew that I wanted to see it on stage. So when I heard about this competition and that it would allow me to direct it and put it up, I jumped on it. I knew that I wanted to apply right away. So I, revisited the script, submitted it, and then the past month has just been, well, it's been pretty chaotic, really stressful, to be completely honest, just because I also have a part-time job at Starbucks as a barista. So oftentimes I'd go straight from Starbucks to my friend's house, who allowed us to rehearse there. And so a lot of busy days, but I wouldn't trade the experience for anything. I got to work with a lot of my friends and get closer with two other people, one of which is on the Zoom right now, Connor, who played the voice in my play. And I got to get closer with some more people, and it was just a really good experience. And all of us being around the same age, we bonded pretty well. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Okay, I'm going to open it up for questions and comments. Questions and comments. Gloria.
I was telling Fran before we started how incredibly impressed I was with you. When you came out and gave that introduction, I said, I kept checking everything. 16, no, not 16, but 16.
Mm-hmm.
And you're already living the life of a writer and performer because you got a job and you're going back and forth. Yeah, that's what we do.
That's it.
You are primed and ready for this. It won't be a shock. That's
Yeah.
what we do. But it was such an incredible introduction to the show. Your maturity and your sense and your centeredness. I don't know how you got that at 16, but boy, it's impressive. It's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I got it through procrastination because I wrote that introduction about 4 hours before the production, before.
I've written things 20 minutes before writing. That's when you do it, because that's when the vision gets tunnel. There is nothing else except that particular line of panic, and that's when you do it. That's the life.
The show day was certainly the most amazing of it all. Just like, finally being able to see the product go up with like the full lights and the full like sound effects. I mean, there was only like one or two, but just everything coming together, it was really nice. But also thank you.
Yeah, I hope you had a good time with it, because you deserved it.
What did you find was the most challenging? Like, I can't get that right, or I mean, there's so many things that could go right and so many things that can go wrong. So was there anything like that?
I think the most frustrating thing, at least for my actors or whatever, and for me, because, we saw a shared experience, was there'd be some moments where I would make a note and then I would see it and then I would have to like go back on what I had done. And this is my first time directing, and so I'm not used to doing anything in the first place, much less having to go back and then correct myself. There's quite a few monologues in my play that make me feel bad for my actors sometimes. Literally a whole page of just words for one character, and there's no breaks. And that happens like once or twice. And so, you know, trying to get the speed correct and the inflections and, you know, just everything correct during that one page where you have to hold the audience's attention all by yourself. It was a lot to work with. And I definitely didn't like having to be like, oh, I need that faster. Wait, sorry, I need that slower, you know, especially like last minute kind of thing. So I definitely, that was frustrating for both me and my cast, I'm sure.
Well, Janice?
Go ahead, Fran, and then I'll go after you.
Okay, so as a director myself, and there's other directors here, that's just, Christian, that's just part of directing. You know, you see the play from your eyes and what's in your brain. And the actors want to know how to do it best. And so there's such an awesome responsibility for the director. It's that balance between your vision and then allowing them to be also bring their vision to it. So so I just want to make that comment. Janice, and then Koki, I want you to talk about the thing that you wrote in the chat box, because I think that's important. Janice.
Well, I was, first of all, I was going to say that in your talkback that you had, which was very interesting with the actors, I liked how you talked about this very thing, Fran, how you worked with the actors to flush out those characterizations and how important characterization was to you in the writing. And yet they brought things to their characters as well. So sounds like you're already understanding, working with the balance of that. I liked your comment, or I related to it when you were saying that it was so insightful that you get used to, you, the writer, when you're hearing it in your mind and it's so funny, and then you hear it and read it, you know, a million times, and you start that self-doubt. Is this funny? Is this good? And so hearing the validation of other people laughing is was rewarding, and I'm so glad you had that experience. I loved your use of the outside narrator, the God voice, I think they call it at some point. It was really funny to me, the line about no, I can't do spoilers. And then later you said something about don't worry, or the God voice says, don't worry, it's coming soon. And I thought to myself, well, that's really a metaphor for all of us, isn't it? Be patient, be patient, have heart, have hope. It's coming soon, whatever, you know, the situation. So there was a real feeling for me of this pressure to being someone you're not, and that everyone was not quite comfy in their own skin. Mm-hmm. They grow a little during the play of being more comfortable in their own skins, and some more than others, some completely. So I was very impressed with you say in the beginning, if I got this right, it's a play about nothing or something, or it's a play about nonsense, or I can't remember the phrase.
Exploring the ridiculous kind of thing, yeah.
And the ridiculous, exploring the ridiculous, and it certainly was, and I understand that. And then it has its deep moments, doesn't it? So good for you. I'm extremely impressed.
Thank you. And if you don't mind, I actually would like to take a second to expand on that, like last note of the characters in their own skin.
I would love that.
Another thing that kind of connects back to my characterization and a few other choices that I ended up making and stuff was, you know, each character does have their own path and they do go through their own changes. And that's what I told my cast the first rehearsal. I was like, you know, each one of your characters, even the voice, you know, who doesn't have presence on stage, they still have their own personality and their own character. And so that journey was really important for each one of them. And specifically E, who I think is obviously the most erratic, you know, the Pentagon agent who doesn't know what's going on. You know, they're definitely the one who is most visibly uncomfortable and finds their way throughout it. And they're actually a non-binary character. And the actor who I got to play them, my friend Sky, she embodied them so well. Like I actually had her in mind since writing because she's a close friend of mine. And I didn't write the role for her necessarily, but, you know, just being around her, I could see her fitting into the role. You know what I mean? And so, you know, when she came to auditions and stuff, the way that she carries herself displayed a sense of confidence in their image. And so basically, to me, the way that Sky ended up playing E, and the reason why I thought it was so perfect for that character, is that they didn't seem uncomfortable in their body necessarily, or their suit. They felt very confident. Like it wasn't their gender or their body that was the problem. It was just simply the stress of the situation that they were in. And to me, that was very important, so that I'm not, you know, putting a stereotype or anything on non-binary people that they are, you know, confused or whatever. And so when you brought that up, I wanted to take the opportunity to talk about that, because that was something that I really paid attention to in my casting and in my directing. It was very important that E have confidence and E go through, and that they go through certain changes, but that they go through the right changes and that they go through the right level of confidence versus the right level of, you know, instability. So yeah, sorry, I just wanted to talk about that. But overall, thank you so much for your notes.
That's great. That's great. Absolutely. Coca, you had a comment about actors' monologues. So why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, no, a director that speaks that way about her characters, about her actors, and writes monologues for actors. That sounds like and is introducing non-binary characters into the show. That's somebody who I'd like to work with. It's a meeting you and hearing you speak, and I wish you so much more luck in your future.
Thank you.
Thanks, Koki. Somebody else had a comment. Rich?
Yeah, hi. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
How old?
I'm 16.
Wow, you don't look a day over 16. But well, this is great. Congratulations. Really, I hope you have a very, very bright future. I'm sure you will. I want to ask you pretty much what I asked. Was it Julia was the other girl?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, my memory is really bad. Why did you write it? How did you write it? Was it a compulsion? Was it a feeling? Was it like one night you got an urge? Was it something that you were writing and that didn't go the way you went and this came out of that? I mean, what was the story here?
To be completely honest, I've been in my school's theater program Encore for, this past year had been my second year. And I just kind of focused on acting. And with this past year with COVID and, you know, limited availability in shows and not really being a musical person myself, or like not acting in musicals, I decided to go more into like the technical part of theater. And so in my technical theater class, we had a couple of choices for assignments. We had focus on college auditions, which is basically just singing. And I'm just, you know, that's not me. And, or focus on lighting tech, stage managing, directing, or writing. And so I chose writing. It just seemed like the easiest option, since I knew all the other ones were either not of my interest or going to be way overrun out of popularity. And so I did playwriting with one other person, and my teacher actually almost got rid of it because it was only us two. But we were so adamant that we wanted to just not do anything else, that she kept it on. And so it wasn't actually originally any urge of mine. I've been writing creatively since I was a little child, but playwriting was never something that I had considered doing. And so it was really just an assignment, but I'm kind of a perfectionist. So, you know, I knew that once I chose it, I wasn't going to just do it haphazardly or anything either.
Can I ask you what made you pick this particular thing to write about?
Well, I don't know. I don't remember exactly how it came up, but I have a feeling I probably just got reminded of it. But essentially, if anybody remembers, April of 2020, the Pentagon confirmed these 3 videos of UFOs. And so in my mind, because UFOs and alien spacecraft are so associated, I was like, the first thought of was like the alien confirmed aliens, right? And I was like, why isn't anybody freaking out about this? And then I took a second. I was like, no, just UFOs. This is normal. So when I thought about it in November, I was like, well, what if somebody didn't let go of it like I had? You know, what if somebody who was like really, really invested in UFOs just went crazy about it? And then it just kind of spiraled from there.
All right, that's great. Well, you know, you have a great career ahead of you, so good luck.
Thanks.
That's great, Christiana. We just so enjoyed your show. And we'll have more time later if there's time to continue talking with you. So let's move on to the third show, which was on the second night, and that is Koki. Why don't you talk about your Dreamers Crew and the play that you did? Such a delightful play. Loved it.
Thanks, friend. My name is Cornelio Aguilera. You can call me Goki, and I had the honor of helping to organize and direct a group of 13 to 16-year-olds called the Dreamers Teatro Crew. Unfortunately, a lot of our actors weren't available, but I am happy to say that 2 of the actresses from the particular show have just arrived. I know it may be a little awkward because they're just arriving, but if they have a second, I really would like for them to speak on the experience, just because this is about the youth, and I want to make sure that they're able to respond. So, Leilani and Nandi, if you're available, if you all could turn your video on and unmute your microphone and speak to this wonderful group of people about the experience of performing in the Magic Pencil.
There they
but
are.
also, they may have some questions. There they are. Can you hear us, girls? Yeah, I'd like to pass the mic to them.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Leilani, and this is my twin sister, Nandi. Hello.
I loved your characters, by the way, in the show.
Thank you.
Tell us about the experience.
It was fun because we've never done anything like it. So, and I really enjoy acting. So we got to meet new people, which is fun because we never got to do that because of online school. So it was fun to actually talk to new people, unlike online school where we just listen to the teacher.
What did you think about the message of the show?
I thought it was a interesting message because not everything in the script was good. But I mean, how the situation was good, but as they go on, it gets better and better, and everything just works out.
Well, what did you think of your characters?
I loved my character. My character is mean, but I also loved it. I love the name personally because it just reminds me of my favorite anime that I like, and when it comes to that, I'm like, wow, it's just really cool to have the name that they put.
Can you tell everybody else what your characters were? Who your characters were?
My character was Scooter. I was Jason's older sister. Yeah. And I am Sasuke. I am Scooter's Scooter's sister, and Jason is related to me.
What were your personalities, though, in the show?
We were mean. We were the boys.
Yeah.
We were the boys. We were mean. I just kept repeating everything that Scooter said. Technically, that's what happened.
So you were the
playing a bully.
It's definitely easier to play the bully than being nicey. I just feel like that. Being mean is just sometimes easy sometimes. I liked playing it, but personally, that's not my personality. But it was very cool. I really liked that. That's not my personality, but I loved being the bully.
You played off each other beautifully. It was so much fun to watch that. The chemistry between the two of you is really lovely. And you know, if you really are a mean person and you play a mean person, people don't like you, but it's obviously that you're not. So it was fun to watch you do it. You can tell that when you're watching an actor, what they're like. And you're so delightful, and you're just having a good time just doing something that normally you wouldn't do.
You must have been doing a really good job, because you scared the bejesus out of me, or you scared me, you know. And so I definitely was moved by your performance. So way to go. And we can't show the good things without exposing the bad things, right? So keep it up, girls.
Yeah.
Thanks, Janice. Rich.
Hi, I had to step away for a second. What are your names, please?
I'm Nandi, and I'm Leilani.
You both absolutely look wonderful together. I haven't seen the show yet, but I can only imagine. I got to tell you, and the other playwrights, this is really making my day. It is such a play, and I haven't even seen the shows yet, but just you're talking about them, and the way you're speaking, and you're smiling, and everybody's loving what you did, and it's really getting my imagination going, and everything. This is wonderful. I want to ask you, two young ladies, the same question. What made you write what you wrote? How did it come about?
If I could, Rich, Nandi and Leilani were wonderful in that the script had already been written, but a couple of the actors went on vacation to visit family. But Nandi and Leilani were so great about coming in late notice. They were off script. They were prepared, and they brought so much energy and a wonderful dedication to the part. And I don't know. I mean, the characters were not for women, for girls, and they were able to make those characters their own, even if they were the bullies of the story. And so I congratulate them for doing an outstanding job with that.
Thank you so much for saying that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We just did it because it was out of our comfort zone. So we just wanted to try something new and just try something different. Yeah, we tried theater, but we only did theater when we were in middle school. And I didn't really get to do it as much as I wanted to. And the people at the students weren't really serious about it. And I really wanted to be serious about it. So when I was like in class, I was the person saying, guys, let's get back to work. Or I was writing the script and I had to go to the library to type it up and give it to them. And when they just kept messing around and put weird stuff in the script. And I was so annoyed because I just wanted to get to acting and doing the thing. I enjoy writing the script a lot because you get to put your different touches to it and different characters. It's just really fun. I never got to do theater. I got to do theater in 6th grade, but when I was supposed to get theater in 7th grade, I wasn't able to do theater in 6th grade. I mean 7th grade. So I'm very happy that I was able to replace what I didn't do in 7th grade with this. So then I would get more experience because I don't have a lot of experience. So I'm very happy that I got to have more experience. It was definitely more serious than it was in 6th grade because I wrote scripts and we never performed them because not a lot of people were serious about it. So I'm definitely happy that I was a part of this.
Thank you so much. Are you two in Florida?
Yes.
That's too bad. I need somebody for my show.
I want to do a call out to the 3 men, the 3 young boys that were in the show. They play great parts also, the 2 brothers. Koki, I don't know if you want to talk about them. And I also liked your bloopers reel at the end. I thought that was cute.
Yeah, thank you, Fran. I'll echo what Nandi and Leilani said. That we appreciate the opportunity of being able to perform for this festival. The other writers, there was 4 writers, and actually there's two sets of brothers. Their names are Olegario and Alex Lopez. And then we also had Jonathan and Christian Martinez. They were the actual individuals that created the story, the characters, the dialogue, the situations, the scenarios. I just transcribed our sessions through Zoom. I was trying to, I had to record them so I could keep up, and they're the ones who created this story. And then we were also blessed by the presence of another young, wonderful actor named Israel Colon, also living in the Florida area. So with Israel coming in at the last minute to help us out with one of the characters, and then Nandi and Leilani, we were able to complete the piece, submit for the festival, and thanks to you all, have an opportunity to present, so we appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Janice, you have a quick comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to say to please pass on to the writers that I really liked the clear scenes. I got into the story. I love the friendship that goes through trials, but they end up together and with laughter. And so I liked the whole flow.
Yeah, it was really good. Absolutely. Kept me interested. Yay! Thank you, Koki. Thank you, Leilani and Nandi. Thank you so much. We're going to now switch so that we have some time to talk to our other two playwrights that are here. Annie Brown, you and I have not met yet. I've met everybody else doing the interviews, but you wrote our musical, Dear Pen Pal, and boy, was that entertaining. I just thought it was just remarkable. So please introduce yourself, tell us about your play, the experience, and then we'll ask you some questions.
Of course, yeah. Well, my name is Annie Brown. I just graduated from Harding Fine Arts Academy in Oklahoma City. Just a little tiny private art school that has my entire heart at this point. And I start at Southeast Missouri in the fall to get my BFA in musical theater. So I guess we're like 20 days away from that now, which is terrifying, but super exciting. But I have always just been the biggest theater nerd, the biggest theater kid. Growing up, I was more into dance, and I watched my older brothers do theater. So I was all show tunes all the time, always doing shows and stuff like that, especially as I got older. And over quarantine and this past year, I started developing this really strong love for composers and analyzing the music they wrote. And I've always loved writing, just from like third, fourth grade. I had amazing teachers that really like established that love in my heart for that. So getting to kind of put everything I love together and learn to write music on my own and sit down at a piano, and that's been really lovely. But Dear Pen Pal it's been an experience from the very beginning. And it's one of the things that I look back on and I'm like, oh my goodness, I did that. I don't quite understand how I did, but I did. And I love it so much. But it was also my first show to direct, fully choreograph, all that different stuff. I have the honor of working with two different local theaters here that I've assistant directed and done a little bit of choreography for as well. So I've kind of learned from watching the other adults in my life and stuff like that. And I've gotten to build upon to put it all into this thing that I love. And I got to present at this festival.
Annie, I was so impressed. Music, choreography, movement, pacing of the show, message of the show, the total presentation. Annie, just really are talented. You did a great job, and I see a very bright future for you when it comes to writing musicals. Writing musicals is a whole different arena, So you just really nailed it. All right, I'm going to open it up for others to ask some questions. Sherry, haven't heard from you, so let's ask.
Annie, I love the show. I like some of the other folks have said about our playwrights. I was double checking, how old is she? And did she write this by herself? I've done so many musicals and directed so many musicals, but I was so impressed with the harmonies and like Fran was saying, the pacing and the way that you wrote the show. How long have you been studying music? Has it always been hand in hand? I just thought the way you had the harmonies and everything already right there, ready to go, was just amazing.
Yeah, I actually, I've never taken a piano lesson in my life. Something I wish I would have done when I was younger, but I haven't. In elementary school, I went to an arts elementary school. I've been lucky enough to go to art schools my entire life, which is a big part of where I am today. But in elementary school, third through fifth grade, we were required to take orchestra. So I learned how to play the violin at a very, very young age, and that taught me the most basic music theory skills. And from that point, I did like show choir 1 year in middle school, and then I started private voice lessons my freshman year of high school. But other than that, that's about all the music training I have. So over quarantine, I taught myself very basic piano that turned into being able to compose on the piano and put it onto sheet music. And it's been truly so fun. And now I can play. I'm currently trying to learn how to balance all of them, but I can compose on a banjo, a violin, a piano, a ukulele, and a guitar. So I have all the fun things.
Well, I think you definitely have a future, and I sure hope you keep with it. And I can't wait to see the next thing you do.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Janice, did you have a?
Well, I wanted to segue on that. One of my questions, like Sherry, was about the music. It's so impressive. Do you? I am a singer. I'm also a musical comedy nerd. So I feel you, Annie, and I'm so excited and love it. And it's a miracle to me that people think of tunes, that I get to sing, So do you pop up in bed and you have this tune in your mind, or are you noodling on the piano and it comes to you?
It was kind of a mix of a lot of different things. It was kind of sourced from a lot of different things. My very first thing I wrote in the entire show was it's the vamping that happens throughout it, the da 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 da, and the opening number started with just that piano line, and then I kind of added all these different layers to it, and it was fun to add, kind of orchestrate it a bit and add violin and cello and all these different fun instruments to add all these different layers and watch it come together. But it's definitely comes from all these different places. And there would be some moments where I'd be sitting, at the time I was working at a local ice cream place, and I'd be working alone and it'd be super slow. And I'd just kind of be sitting there and I'm like, I have an idea for a song. And I would run back and like put a little voice memo into my phone and just to make sure I don't lose it. And it's fun to look back on all of those now and see how much things have changed. And it's just fun.
So great.
I see, Christiana, you have your hand up. You have a question?
Yeah, I actually did get to see your show, and I was just so impressed by it. It was just so good, and I could, like Sherry said, I double checked to see, what was made by you, or like maybe what crew that you had, and it was just so impressive to see how much of it that you did the whole play. That's what I mean. It was just so good, and I think there was a lot of power in the music that you composed for it. Just you could tell that it was, how do I say this, like there was that kind of same feel for each song, and it connected the whole play because each song was distinct and each song did have its own moment and its own tune, but it was all kind of like the same underlying style, and it really just wove everything together and made it, really cohesive. And I thought that was really impressive, and that must have taken like a lot of forethought and a lot of planning and stuff, and just I don't know, I just thought it was really good and really impressive. You could tell that it was all composed by you, and it was just really good.
Thank you.
Compliment young playwright to young playwright. I love that. Gloria, you have a comment?
Yeah, just very briefly along with this, because unfortunately boy, am I looking forward to seeing this, and I will send a note. But you said something that is so true, and what's wonderful about being a writer who's going to see what they've written is to sit back and say exactly what you just did. I did that. I did that. That is the best feeling in theater, when you've created something like that and you can stand back from it and say, I did that. Good for you.
Yeah, that is a great feeling. Let's do Rich next.
Thanks, Fran. You know, I'm having the best time I've had all week. This is really, this is great. Seeing all of you playwrights and the way you're speaking and the energy and the create, and I haven't even seen the shows yet. I have to apologize for that. I had the week from hell, but there was a commercial in the 70s. This guy comes out, he's in Jamaica. He says, "Come to Jamaica, we make you feel like a child again here." And that's exactly how I feel right now. You guys are making me feel like really young and full of possibilities. And it's just wonderful to see. I have a question. There's a question in here. What was your favorite song and why?
Oh boy, there's a song at it's
Don't mean to
weird-
put you on the spot, but you know.
Oh, I love them all equally. They're all my children. But there's a song at the end that I have to say is one of my favorites. It's called Starting Over. And it's honestly one of my proudest things ever, which sounds so cheesy, but the harmonies that make it up, and it's the turning point in the show where everybody finally kind of clicks and sees that they aren't all that different. And it's one of those songs that I was like, I cannot wait to see this staged. I cannot wait to hear real voices singing this, because when it's being played on a piano or just generated notes on a computer, you can have this idea of what it'll sound like, but whenever it's sung on stage and I get to hear that thing that I put onto sheet music just sung out loud, I'm so happy. My heart is so full. And that's one of the songs that just every single time I hear it sung or watch it performed in general, I'm just overwhelmed with happiness. It makes me so happy.
That sounds great. Good luck with your career. I'm sure it'll be great.
Thank you.
Annie, I want to talk about what you said in the program about why you like theater and creating simple theater or a theater that with simple sets so that they can be very accessible so everybody can feel the magic of theater. Talk to me about that.
Yes, I have grown up in children's theater and doing all this different stuff. And one of the big things that I noticed with COVID is a lot of theaters and school programs took a really hard hit. It's been difficult for a lot of programs, and I haven't even seen the tiniest bit of that. And it breaks my heart to think that there are schools dealing with issues right now and the possibility of not being able to do shows this next year, or even theater programs out there that are on the edge of just totally because they don't have the funding to do shows. And theater has personally changed my life so majorly. I am who I am today. I am able to speak how I am, and I am friends with who I have, all these different people in my life. Everything is because of theater and what it has taught me. And I don't think anybody should be robbed of the chance to perform just because they can't afford to take classes, or because a program can't afford to pay thousands of dollars to do a show. So one of my big things when I wrote Pen Pal was I wanted to create a show that I could offer to schools for very, very cheap, if anything. And I've had a few programs that I'm in communication with about doing it for no charge, because I don't want to charge for shows because once again, we're all in a really interesting place right now, but also a show that uses street clothes and stuff that you could find anywhere, like chairs, and just such a minimal set, because shows get so expensive. And I think nobody should be robbed of the right of watching or performing or doing anything in live theater because of money.
Annie, you're speaking my tune. Oh, my goodness gracious, you are speaking my tune. Janet, and then Rowena had a question, I think. Rowena, you had your hand up? No.
I just want to say, and what you did with very simple tools was so creative. The colorful, notebooks, and the pouches on the chairs that they kept pulling out of like a magic, it was so interesting, and how just turning the chairs, that was great. And I just want to give a quick, I don't know if any of them are here, shout out to your actors. Beautiful voices, very well done. There were a lot of words and a lot of lyrics, and they They
got them.
They got them. They did.
I owe them all the world. Our rehearsal process for this production was 4 days. So I owe them all the world. They're all really dear to me just in general because they're all lovely people. But the work they put into this, it was 5 hours a day for 4 days and they
Wow.
killed it. So I'm really thankful.
Fabulous. That's fabulous. Any other questions for Annie? Gloria, did you have your hand up?
No, but
I see you have your little hand up still on your screen.
Well, it's still up there. Well, that's okay. Now I do have a question for you. Do you know what you want to write next?
Oh man, I just finished recently I finished a 1-act play and it's dramatic. It's so different from this that I just got finished with in another festival that I'm working on a few other performances for, so that's super fun. But there's a lot of other little things that I've started writing that just continue to grow and grow and grow. So I'm looking at more of a full-length musical though, which is a really, really big task compared to just the 1-act that I just wrote. But I'm super excited and I have absolutely fallen in love with writing music. So I'm super excited to do more of that.
Well, you'll be great to follow you and see what you do next.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Annie.
Thank you.
And we have our last playwright with us, and that is Zeta. Can you unmute Z? And this is our youngest playwright that we've had with the show, and she is coming to us from the Philippines. So it's early in the morning there. So can you please tell us about yourself and why you performed this particular number for us?
Hi, my name is Zeta Sindolia, as you can see in the name tag in Zoom. And I like acting, singing, and performing on Broadway. And I like pastel colors, and I'm like a kind of childish person a bit, and a bit sensitive sometimes. And what I wanted to share, like what inspired me to write this, is that it's relatable to what we are currently, what's currently happening to us globally, because it's a zombie pandemic, a zombie outbreak, and it's a global pandemic, but it's a different name. It's coronavirus. And Super Z is like the vaccines or the scientists trying to remove the virus or the zombie outbreak in Super Z.
I love the whole zombie thing, Zeta. I thought it was just so creative and so fun, and you were so powerful out there. Who has a question for Z? Zeta. Question or a comment about what you did, Jerry, and then Janice.
Yes. Z, I was just wondering, because of your age right now, when you first fell in love with performing, because you seem like such a long-time performer at such a young age. So I'm wondering, when you first fell in love and knew you had that voice that you have and that presence, and first fell in love and wanted to start doing it.
When I first fell in love in doing it?
With acting and performing and singing.
Oh. The first time I fell in love with acting and singing and performing it's like when I tried to enter my first workshop, I guess. It's like ABS-CBN, it's in the Philippines. And I was like, I realized, wait, what is this doing? What is this doing? And then I'm like, and then I started doing different workshops and I started loving it. And I started loving it. I do different songs. It was like last 2018. I forgot what date was that when I first started it. I forgot it's a long time ago. I was singing and I love performing so much.
Well, I'm so glad that you do. I can't wait to see what you do as well.
Janice has a question for you.
Well, I want to congratulate you, Zeta. I am so impressed that you can hold your own on a Zoom call like this, and that you're standing up with your fellows like it. Just amazing. I still need to see your play. Deb, if you could send me a link again. I tried to watch it today and I couldn't find it in any of the communication that I have. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I want to ask you, do you feel support from your peers, or do they think it's like an amazing thing you do and they don't quite understand, or do you have good support from your friends and your family?
Yes, I have very, very good support from my parents, especially my mom. And I have also good support from my friends too. Usually say it's really good, and that their voice glitches and mine does it when they sing, and that I should like keep on doing what I love. And I always get that constant support from the people around me, and I'm very happy about that.
Rich and Gloria, do you have comments?
Just have a brief comment, just taking it off that last one that I really, and I'm not going to ask this as a question. I don't want to put anybody on the spot. I just hope that all of you, the performers and the writers, have that either family or friends or a supportive village around you, because that is going to be the most important thing for you going forward, is to have that kind of support and to build that community for yourself now.
You know, that makes all the difference in the world.
Absolutely.
It just makes a world of difference. If you have somebody or a group in your corner, it makes a world of difference.
Maybe one person.
Yeah. Yep. Rich, you have a comment?
Yeah, thanks, Fran. Hi. How do I say your name again? Zoda?
Yeah. Z like Z-E-E and then da. But
Got it.
in my name.
I want to ask, what made you write what you wrote? Was it just you decided one day, woke up, or were you thinking about it? How did it happen?
It's like, what is that? I mean, I just like thought of an idea of writing something that's like super cool, like, and I was like looking outside, and then there's like a pandemic happening, and I actually live in the pandemic, and I was like, why won't I just like write something about the pandemic? And then I was supposed to make like a different story instead of the Super Z one, but it's kind of stupid. That's why I didn't stick with that idea. And I continued it. And I was like, this looks pretty good. And I wrote about the zombie things because it's like it looks fun. And I had a lot of fun doing that. I was supposed to write a different name instead of Super Z too, but I was like, let's just stick to my name. I don't want to think of any more names. I just want to stick with my name. And yeah, that's how I did the Super Z story. And it was really fun to do. I love the zombie outfit thing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys, it is a few minutes after 9, so we're gonna start to wrap up. Deb does have some winners to announce of our talent show and some things like that. But well, just some comments from me. When I look around my screen, this is theater. I see playwrights, I see composers, I see musical theater nerds, I see new playwrights, I see playwrights that are just starting out, I see audience members, I see spoken word artists, I see behind the scene people. You know, we are all in this together because we have stories to tell. You know, when we have a burning desire to tell a story, then and we choose theater as our means of telling that story, then all of us are needed. You know, the role that I'm playing right now is I have a theater. It's something I always wanted to have ever since I was a little girl. So now we have the space, we have the theater where we do seasons of shows, and I get to be the artistic director. I'm also a playwright and an actor, but right now my role is being the facilitator to allow all of you to bring your works to us. So I think theater is just so genuine and so beautiful because we are here to make the world better through our stories. And at the end of the day, our mission at Power Stories is staging true stories to open minds and hearts. And everything that we put on stage, what you are doing in your works, every single one of you in your works, you are opening minds and hearts. And if we can all live our lives filled with joy and open mind and heart, just imagine how great this world would be, even greater. So just some comments for me. I think you're all very talented and very special, and I'm so appreciative that you chose to be a part of our Voices of Youth Festival. Please continue to enter things. We do periodically, in one of our festival winners, actually have one of the winners on our main stage productions. We have not been able to be in the theater, you know, so we will be next year. So keep your eyes and ears open for more festivals from us. Deb, we have some winners to announce.
Yes, ma'am. Last night, Fran, Sherry, and I had the difficult task of selecting the winning talent of the debut of the Voices of Youth Kid and Kid at Heart Talent Showcase.
What a fun night, guys.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
Yeah.
But before I announced the winners, I wanted to read you 2 comments that we got regarding the talent showcase that just warmed our hearts and just thought it would be wonderful to share. This is from Catherine, who's actually in here with us. So thank you, Catherine. I thoroughly enjoyed the talent show last night. Everyone did such an awesome job. It was nice seeing all the talent throughout the world. So please continue to bless everyone with more of your wonderful Zoom talent shows. Great job to everyone who participated. And then we had this one from Corinne. That made my heart so happy. I mean, honestly, that was amazing to watch. Everyone just seemed so kind and genuine. Thank you for inviting me and letting me be part of this. So, without further ado, I'm proud to announce that our power promoter, which is the playwright who sold the most tickets, is Christy Golian.
Yeah.
Yay!
You have won a Power Stories t-shirt, a festival pass to the Voices of Women in October, and a $25 gift card to Amazon. And drum roll, please. Oh no, sorry, my dogs just started barking. And our winners for the Voices of Youth debut of the Kid Talent Showcase are Zita Sambillo for Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid, and Rowena de Amico Scott for her story about living with Tourette's syndrome. You guys will also be getting a Power Stories t-shirt, a festival pass to the Voices of Women in October, and a $25 gift card to Amazon. So we thank you so much for your talent, and you guys blew us away.
Absolutely. Hey, Rowena, we haven't heard from you. So do you want to say a few words? Happy about that?
Yes, very. I'm actually kind of surprised. I thank you guys so much. I felt at first I was like extremely nervous because this was my first monologue that I ever wrote ever. And it was, it's about something that I live with. So I was very anxious in the very beginning, but I felt very, like in the showcase itself, I felt very safe to do it, and I felt very happy and joyous. So it made things a lot easier when I was performing it. I was like, oh wow, okay, I feel okay. And just everybody's talent was incredible last night that I saw, and I was just so happy and honored to be a part of it. So thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of that and experiencing that.
You're very welcome. You're very
Yeah.
welcome. Your work moved us. So,
Thank you so much.
We'll be sending you certificates, and each of our playwrights will also receive a certificate for your participation in the Voices of Youth Theater Festival.
absolutely. Round of applause
That's a
for everybody.
wonderful job.
I'm going to ask our two guests tonight to give final words of encouragement for our playwrights. So, Rich, we will start with you. Final words of encouragement, and then Gloria.
The youth will inherit the earth. They always do. There's an old sociologist, Jules Henry, that wrote this quote: "Culture is the hand of the dead on the shoulder of the living." And that's a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, we inherit habits and ways and means, and some of them are not good, but we also inherit stories. And you're telling stories. So you're really, you're building worlds. You're building worlds. You're building bridges and making connections to people. And somebody mentioned support. I'm not going to go on too long, don't worry. But somebody mentioned support. And if you ever feel like you don't have support, just feed yourself, support yourself, and love yourself. I don't mean in a corny way, like, oh, I love myself. I mean, like, really, really be good to yourself. Sometimes that means setting boundaries. Sometimes that means taking care of yourself. Sometimes it means relaxing. Sometimes it means working harder, stepping out of your comfort zone. Do whatever you got to do, and you will draw to you all the support you need. I firmly believe that from experience. You are putting out yourselves out there, and that's wonderful. I have one last tip. When you lead, because you're going to direct and you're leading with your vision, lead by example. Don't lead by telling people what to do. I mean, that's kind of silly, because as a director, you have to say, do this, do this. But I mean, even then, there's a feeling that comes out of you when you set the tone, when you're polite and you're courteous and you're compassionate and you're sympathetic and you're empathetic and you're brilliant. You're all brilliant, obviously. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to work on that. Just lead by example. You set a great example, everybody will follow. If they don't, you just show them the door. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Rich. We really loved having Rich in our Voices of Truth Festival. Rich was there every single night watching the plays and our talkback. So, Rich, thank you so much. And Gloria, we're going to give you an opportunity to give some encouragement.
I really support what Rich said about taking good care of yourselves. The Talmud says two things: find a teacher, find a friend. With those two things, you're going to have all of the support that you need, all of the encouragement that you need. It's something that I found very late in life. I found an acting coach that I worked with for 13 years who suggested that I write a play about something that I'd never spoken about in my life, which was my deaf parents. And it was it was life-changing. Some of these things just come up and you take advantage of them, and you just, at that time, you take the leap and you say yes. You just say yes. You take that chance and you say yes. And what it led to me, what he promised me, was I would find, and I was talking to Fran and Deb about this, find a community, which is what I did. And we thought it would mean the community, but it meant the community that I actually came from, which is the CODA community, the Children of Deaf Adults, and the deaf community. I found my own world through doing my own show. You never know where it's going to go. You have that faith in yourself. You have a voice. You have something you really want to talk about. You want to say something, just put it out. you know, especially, you know, for, you know, you guys were talking about simple shows, solo shows, simple sets. It is the best way to go, and it's going to be the best way to go for the next few years, because it's the small theaters like Fran's that are going to open first. That's what's going to happen, and you will grow it from there. And as simple as you can do it, I've got 2 end tables and a couple of things I, you know, bring myself and the right size chair. That's it. That's what all I ask for. And the rest is just, also when you know, after you've written it, get a group together to read it and just sit back and listen to what your characters are saying. Are they talking to you? Are the words too big? They got too many syllables in them. There are wonderful things as writers that we just think are brilliant, and we write these wonderful things which are great on paper. They don't belong on the stage. And it's like, that was such a brilliant line. I can't give it up. Just give it up. Just make friends with the audience. They'll love you. They'll love you for it, because the message is more important than the literature. There's literature and there's stage. There are two different things. You have to ask yourself, why does this belong on stage and not just in a book? And you'll get that from just listening to your actors. And your actors are supposed to be better than the script. Even my own script, and I'm the actor, I'm supposed to be better than what I wrote. So if you get that, you're home free. And, you know, as far as, you know, I was looking at Leilani and Nandi, who were supposed to be boys, and they turned out to be cast as girls. There was a major Broadway show called Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat that was narrated. The narrator was supposed to be a man. And I was trying to find it. I can't find the exact actor who took that role over, but a woman came in and read it. She was so good. She got the part. You never know in this business. Take the chance. Just do it. Your heart's there.
Thank you, Gloria.
This is love. This is the American Sign Language for love. So this is love for all of you. And thank you.
Thank you, young playwrights. Thank you, audience. We're going to close with Take the Leap and Say Yes. Good night.